Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Jaala. If you're new, welcome, thank you for coming, and if you're returning, welcome back. Over here on my channel I discuss all things travel abroad, lifestyle and personal development, so I would love if you would stick around. Told you so extra, but I know I'm the same. Love me in spite of my trauma. Give me what I need instead. In today's video, I want to talk about the 10 things that I have learned so far living abroad, and I wish I could tell my past self. So first of all, I want to say that I am an Australian who has moved to China, and I've been in China now for 7 months. So I'm still sort of fresh, but I feel like I have some insights that might give you a little bit more reassurance on this topic, especially if you're a Westerner who is moving to Asia. So hopefully if you're planning on moving abroad, this will give you some insights into what you might expect and put your mind at ease a little bit, because as scary as it is and as big of a lifestyle shift as it is, it's also not as bad as you might think. Okay, so let's just jump straight in. Please like and subscribe because it would really help my channel grow. I am still a new channel. It's free. You can do it just down below. So thank you in advance. So lesson number 1, and this is one that I had to learn the hard way, but it's probably the most useful one, and that is so simple, and it's just asking for help. Don't be scared to ask a stranger for help. I know that it might seem a bit daunting, especially if there is a bit of a language barrier, because that was something that I thought at first. I was like, oh, but no one speaks the same language as me, that sort of thing. You have translation apps now. Technology is a beautiful thing. Use it. People are more than willing to help, usually, especially if you obviously are a foreigner or not from the country or the area. They're usually willing to help you at some point. It doesn't make you weak, it doesn't make you stupid, and honestly it will just make your life a lot easier, because the quicker you learn that you're not in this alone, the easier your life will get. You're not isolated on this island with no one around you. There is so many people around and they just want to help you and welcome you to the country usually. So yeah, it's honestly, once you figure that out and just ask for help rather than aimlessly wandering around and looking lost and whatever, your life will be so much better. Also, you never know who you might meet from asking people. I've had like super valuable and insightful conversations come from just asking someone for help. Then they ask me where I'm from and we strike up a conversation, and yeah, you just meet so many cool people from it. So definitely that would be my first one, is just asking for help. The second point would be to use a hobby that you already have, or an interest that you have or would like to have, as a gateway to meeting new friends. This is what I did. So I feel like the gym is quite a common example. A lot of people like the gym and fitness. So I put myself out there and purposely looked for a group fitness gym in Shanghai so that I could meet people. That was honestly the sole purpose of me joining this gym, was to make friends, expat friends, Chinese friends, whoever. I could have easily just found a gym in my local area and gone, but I wanted that community aspect and to make friends. And you already know that you have something in common, right? You like the same music if it's a dance class, you like the same workout, you like the same pottery, you like the same coffee, cake, whatever your hobby or interest is. You already have a base level of something in common, so then you can build off of that. Especially if like you might work from home or work for yourself and you're not in a workplace where you can easily interact and meet people, then this might be a good option for you. Along with that, oftentimes these people have lived in the place that you're in a lot longer than you, so they will give you really good tips and advice, recommendations that you can use to really improve your daily life and just make it a little bit richer. Then the third lesson that I have is to make a bucket list of everything you want to do in a place. Obviously it's new, but I feel like when you don't have, especially if you're moving and you don't have a finite sort of time that you have in this place, like you have 6 months or 1 year or whatever the case is,
it can probably be easy to fall into the trap of just going about your daily life and living through the motions, but creating a bucket list of everything that you want to do can be so much fun. And it's really fun as well. I'm like, oh, I have this on my bucket list. Does anyone want to come and do it with me? And just makes it really fun. So, yeah, it could be traveling to new places, trying new things, trying new foods, trying restaurants, cafes, bars, cultural experiences, whatever you want to do. Write it all down. Maybe ask your friends, be like, hey, what do you think is something good that I should be experiencing? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's just a really good way to sort of make your time really memorable and make it a really good cultural experience. The next point I would have, lesson number 4, would be that even though you want to experience new things and do all of that stuff, when you first arrive in your new country, new town, new city, whatever, having some form of familiarity will really, really ground you. And it made me feel a lot more, I guess, safe and just have a little bit of a sense of everything wasn't out of control. So, literally, it could be something so simple like having a regular cafe that you go to, a regular walking route that you take, like getting the same bus, like something like that. Something that you can sort of build a rapport with even the barista or the shopkeeper if you have the same grocery store, like people that go on the same walk as you at the same time, that sort of thing. Some sort of a sense of a daily routine will really just give you that sort of sense of daily life. And I think it also just helps cement that fact that you live in this place. It's not just somewhere that you're going for an extended holiday. It sort of gets you in the mindset of, okay, I do this every morning. I go here every morning. I speak to this person every morning, that sort of thing. So that was one thing that really helped me when I first moved was, and it also can be a good way to get out and explore when you first arrive somewhere. Because I know when I first arrived, part of me just wanted to shut myself in my room and never leave. So it can be a good way to just bring you out of your shell a little bit. Okay. And it also, one more point I want to add on that is that when I first moved abroad, my emotions were like this. So by having a regular place to go every day, it sort of just gave me something to look forward to every day, some sort of a sense of a purpose. So I wasn't just aimlessly wandering through the days, if you get what I mean. Halfway through, so lesson number 5 is going to be to learn the local language if it is different than your native or whatever languages you already know. This for me, it might sound obvious, apart from being a very practical thing to use, it also gives a lot of insight into the culture of the country and how the people are, might explain some of the reasons why they act the way they do, that sort of thing. So I think, and also it's just a very useful skill to have. So a good challenge. And by living in the country where the language is spoken, it's going to be the quickest and the most effective way for you to learn the language in context, passive input all the time, just being around it, hearing it, that sort of thing. Listening to conversations of people speaking in that way will really, really help and up level you just that much quicker. So that would be tip number 5. Tip number 6 is that, like, it's life, so not every day is going to be your best day, unfortunately, but that will happen whether you're in your home country or somewhere else. Unfortunately, you just sort of need to write it out, know what makes you feel good, what can sort of be your coping mechanisms, that sort of thing, and just ride the wave, because I promise it won't last forever. And as long as the good days outweigh the bad days, in total, you're doing just fine. Just be kind with yourself. You are in a new place. Things are not going to be super familiar for you. You might be away from your friends and family and on a different time zone. So just anything that can make you feel comfortable, make sure you lean into that when you do need it. Sort of to go along with that, when you are packing for the big move abroad, I would say make sure you leave a little bit of room for some sentimental value and for things that are just going to bring you joy. They don't necessarily have to be super practical, and things that you might be like, oh, I want to bring this, but I don't have a need for it. You do have a need for it. Like, it could be so simple. I bought one of my pillowcases with me. I bought some photos. I bought some, like, a favorite mug, that sort of thing. And it may seem super trivial and silly, but they're the things that are going to bring you the comfort and the joy when you are having those hard days. And wanting to, go home and throw in the towel and stuff like that. So they bring more value than you might think. So please just allocate a tiny bit of your luggage or packing space to bringing those few sentimental items with you. Number 8, this might be a little bit of a controversial one, but I found that I tried not to talk to my friends and family all the time. The first couple of weeks, I was literally calling my mum like every day, sometimes twice a day. I feel like when I moved abroad, it was sort of a breakup in that you need time to be present with where you are and sort of feel the feelings and almost let yourself hurt and be alone, because by talking to people all the time, and it just reminded me of how far I was away from everyone. It just made me not present with who I am. I started getting way more homesick. It just did more damage than good. And so I think if you can, just try and limit your contact with your friends and family at the start to really help you settle in, make those connections with those new people, and try and be grateful for where you are and what you're doing, because sometimes it can sort of just put you back and you think about what you're missing, not what you're gaining. Number 9, and this is a bit of a fun one, but trying the local food and just really getting out there and trying the local culture. I think especially now with all the Western brands that we have available, even in China, it can be really easy to just go with the option that which, KFC, McDonald's, all that sort of stuff. And I did that for the first couple of months. But then once I tried some of the food here, oh my God, I'm gonna miss it. I can tell you that much. It is so good and it's so nice to try different foods. And now you're like, yeah, one of my favorite foods is Chinese dumplings or blah, blah, blah. Like trying the local food is so much fun. And just trying all the street food, trying all of the delicacies, and especially in places like China, they have their own specialties in each region. So that's really fun to try. Number 10 is sort of my last point and the one I'm going to end on, but this is a time in your life where you are experiencing so much personal growth. You are so far out of your comfort zone. So take the time to write in your journal, document how you're feeling, video that thing, take that photo, even if it's good, even if it's bad, because I don't regret any of the things I've written down, the content. Like, it just brings me so much joy because I can put myself back 3 months ago and be like, oh my God, I remember the first time I did this, or I still remember the first night I arrived, like all this stuff. And I have it in video and it just puts me right back there, and I see how far I've come, how much I've grown and changed already. So please just make sure you're documenting your journey too, even if you don't put it anywhere. It's purely just for you. And it's just so fun to look back on. And I also want it to be able to show my kids, be like, look, this was your mum when she did this. So yeah. And it's also just a really good release, because your friends and family, unless they've done it, they won't understand what you're going through. So just by having it documented somewhere, it's a good release and a good outlet of all of your emotions and your feelings at that point in time. Anyway, I hope that you found these tips somewhat useful, and if you have any extra tips as an expat, then please leave them down below, and I will talk to you in my next video. Sai Jen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.